In the green and fragrant southern suburbs of Warsaw, on the old road to the town of Konstantin, lies the 17th century palace of Wilanów, home away from home for the storied Polish king Jan Sobieski. Just as in the past, citizens, travelers, and tourists journey to the outskirts of the capital, mimicking the behavior of Jan Sobieski himself, who often sought refuge in his palace. Yes, he was the hero of Vienna in 1683, the battle that prevented the Turkish invasion of Europe. This is one of the landmark occurrences in both Polish and European history. And this was the residence where Jan Sobieski came to reflect. This Latinate palace would be at home in Italy or France, perhaps particularly France, with its sculptured flower gardens, its invitingly relaxed facade, and its ornamental canal. Motifs paying homage to Roman and Greek myths adorn the facade of the palace itself, as well as the gardens. It's a pleasant place to relax and reflect. You can see why King Jan Sobieski had it built for this purpose, which it serves remarkably. Go there yourself when you're in Warsaw. You will not be disappointed, as these programs will show. This is the palace, not just of a king, but of a great king. In fact, Jan Sobieski is one of the seminal figures in European history, and this palace perfectly reflects the mind of that very special individual. Hello, and welcome back to Poland Daily Travel. I'm here with Arthur and Mihoe from Tokyo, and we are walking in or should I say, King Jan Sobieski's beautiful palace gardens, and we're standing above. I feel inundated by myths of Roman and Greek origin.
And this is the thing, that when you are walking around the gardens of Jan Sobieski, you can experience the culture not only of Poland but of entire Europe. So these sculptures are providing you another reasons for conversations. In these days, people didn't have TV or newspapers. They had these myths and the goddesses and gods that they could refer to. So it's not only about the style of these gardens, it's also about the cultural history of Europe. And when we continue our walk,
and
then we can see
very close to the culture of the whole of Europe. And he felt almost, I think the point is also that didn't he feel that he was a leader in providing that culture and protecting it?
And of course,
that's the important.
And it's not that he was feeling like this, he was recognized
for
like
that.
this. Exactly.
Yeah.
And if we
But he felt it a responsibility, and that's very interesting. It's hard for people to understand
that. Was, I think,
they don't expect it from Poland nowadays.
That was one of these kings who became a king because he had to, not because he wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the glorious beginning and development of this story.
He was chosen for his prowess in battle and as a leader. He was not someone seeking that power.
First battle with a sword in his hand when he was 22.
Yeah.
And there were moments. There was a moment in his life
so
when
he was like a Polish samurai.
Oh.
He was a very gifted warrior, you see, and a king at the same time, because of his prowess.
So, like a Polish samurai would be hussar.
A hussar.
A hussar.
What was a hussar? Because he used those very effectively, didn't he?
Yes.
Sobieski.
Hussars were famous in Polish history, so that in Europe, in German languages, there is such statement, there is such word, Husarenstike, which means to get into the very difficult situation and manage.
To manage a difficult situation?
Yes, so this is what hussars were doing.
Okay. But effectively, a hussar was a kind of cavalry man.
With a 6 meters long wooden pike.
6 meter long spear. They called it a pike, but it's also like a spear.
Yes, they attached it to the
javelin or something.
Metal handle of a horse. And it wasn't about only wooden shape of it, but also ornamentation. I would compare
they
it
attached it to the saddle?
Yes, so he was only pointing the pike.
Ah,
He didn't have
he
to
didn't have to hold it.
the entire
Which
pike.
made it much more effective.
And once again, it wasn't only a wooden weapon. It was a masterpiece. These pikes were provided by not only best people who were carving it, but also best painters. So I would compare it to such in Venice. There are these boats, which are not only boats, but they are painted and ornamented in a beautiful way. So they are in the price of cars. So such one pike was was as worthy as one monthly salary of a hussar, which was a lot of money. And hussars,
A whole month's salary was equal to the cost of one of these long spears,
Yes.
which you call a pike.
yes,
Yeah.
and during proper Polish battles, one hussar was charging 12 times. So
How did that work?
Okay, so for instance, we have let's say that the enemy, we have these bushes in here. We can use these bushes so to present enemy's infantry standing in segments. So there are in one line and then in second line, and they are also separated from each other. So there are units.
Okay.
And then hussars in one line they are always in one line. They are always
and they're going this way.
Yes,
Right?
and they are always one next to each other.
Right.
So there are no two lines, there is always one line. So they have wooden wings attached to their armors.
What was the purpose of the big wings?
There was a very important purpose. Oh, thank you very much. So I have like wings at the moment.
Yeah.
They are wooden, and when I am galloping, they are clapping. And they are also white and red feathers.
Ah,
So that when the enemy is looking at me, it feels like
you're being attacked by some big bird or something.
Angels.
In fact, an angel or some kind of god.
These are like angels entering the battlefield, and they are concentrating on the wings because they didn't see them before. They are not concentrating on the pikes.
Right, so it's onward Christian soldiers sort of thing. And the winged warriors, which is a Greek mythology and Roman mythology.
Yes.
Okay.
So now,
Okay.
now let's say
All right.
that there are 16, 20, 30 separate units standing in front of me, 1,000 people each. So the number of enemy for the hussars didn't matter, because at first they were charging straight, so all of them were just afraid what will happen. Then majority of the unit was concentrating only on one unit. They were charging, they were killing first guy standing in a unit, second guy, third guy.
Because the pike
fourth
would
time.
stick through through the ranks.
So there were
So they were
moments-
skewering people
Yes.
on this long pole, like a shish kebab, which is very appropriate. I get it, the shish kebab.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, but history
That
sources.
can't be right. That
But
can't be right.
history sources say that up to 6 people were killed with one pike.
Is that where the shish kebab comes from?
So
was
I am
already
not
existing.
continuing. I am not.
We're not gonna say that.
I am not
Yeah.
continuing
We
this
shouldn't say
story.
that. We shouldn't
but
say that.
at the end of the pike, there was.
I'm sure that's not the origin.
There was Polish flag, white and red, going in blood through all the enemies, killed by one pike. And then, very important moment, every single time the pike would break, which was very good for a hussar, so he could take his sword, and then they were riding around the unit until they killed every single guy with these wings. So all the rest were just afraid and trying to defend themselves. And then after hussars killed, they were riding around. They killed everyone. Then they were coming back, regrouping, taking new pike, attached it to the metal handle of the horse once again, and then there is one unit less, and there is almost no one hussar who died. The best example, battle at Kirchholm.
Yeah.
Battle at Kirchholm, 1605. There were 11,000 Swedish troops and 3,000 Polish hussars. Out of 11,000 Swedish troops, 9,000 were killed. Out of 3,000 Polish hussars, 100 died. They were talking about this battle in Constantinople. They couldn't believe
The Turks couldn't believe
yes,
it,
they
yeah.
couldn't believe about
You mean
the-
Istanbul?
Yes,
Yeah.
they couldn't believe about the efficiency of Polish hussars.
Yeah.
This is the legendary military unit of Poland, and King Sobieski was one of them.
Right.
He was a general,
Right.
and then he was king of Poland and Polish hussars.
And this is his house. Stay with us. I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Wow, this is an interesting story.
Bravo for Arthur. We'll throw
Bravo
some good
for you.
we throw some good photographs on there. What an explanation. That was exciting. Really exciting. Poland Daily Travel. And not only travel, but history and all kinds of things. Hey, don't you think?
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right, folks. Stay with us for the next exciting installment. Bye for now.